And yes, I was with you through this journey. And yes, I am always with you through all of the journeys that you have had. There has never been a time in the history of this planet, in the history of your evolution, where I or others such as I were with you. You have never been alone, and never will you be alone. You are my brothers, my sisters, my friends. And sometimes you have been relations with me, family relations. Those of you, yes, here in this room, you know of what I speak, for I speak only the truth. And as you know, the truth shall set you free. And the truth is coming, my friends. It is coming. It is here now, all around you. Only for those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, though yet. You hear many things. Much information that is coming out in many different ways. And you listen here and listen there. And some of those things you hear resonate to you, and some do not. But I can tell you now that there is nothing to fear, even though there are those informations that are being released, that are calling for survivalist mentality, that are calling for evacuations in the near future, that are calling for reasons to prepare to defend yourself. I can tell you, as long as you are in the higher vibrations, as long as you are moving into the higher levels of consciousness within your being, these things cannot happen. Will there be those who will experience these? Yes, because that is what they are intending. That is what their expectation is. And they are only bringing about the expectations that they are planning to have. But you yourselves, you who listen to these words, you who resonate to my words, will not have these things to be concerned with. Is it going to be what you would call a cakewalk? No, it will not be. Are there going to be times of consternation? Yes, but when have there not been in your various lifetimes that you have already moved through? But I can tell you that those times of consternation are coming near to an end. And as the wave moves over, just as it did in your meditation, this is what it will be like. Because it is your intention, the intention of the mass consciousness of this planet, of this solar system, and of this galaxy. Yes, you are all ascending. The entire galaxy is ascending. And if you look upon those scientific proofs of various changes happening within the planets of this solar system, you would know of what I speak. For there are many changes in atmospheres on the various planets, many changes of energy on the planets that can be measured and have been measured. So it is not just this world that is changing. It is the entire solar system, and yes, even the entire galaxy. But this is a momentous time. that has been spoken of throughout the ages, has been predicted throughout the ages. And I say again to you now, nothing can stop this. Nothing can withstand this. Even though they will continue to try, and are continuing, they will be unsuccessful. And they know it. But in their arrogance, they continue on, thinking, hoping that they can put off these changes for just a little while longer. And in some cases, yes, that is true, they have. But in the end, and the end is near, they will lose this battle. They will lose their war. It is destined and cannot be changed. I am Sananda, and I am going to be with you very much more closely in this time coming ahead, in this advance you are going to have. Those of us that work with you, those of us that are mentoring to you, are going to be with you very closely, to the point where you will feel us standing upon your shoulder, whispering in your ear. We will be that close. And as Ashira said some time ago, there are surprises coming. So be ready for this. We will be preparing you for the wave. All of my peace and love be with each and every one of you. And know that I and all of those that mentor to me and with you will be here with you at all times. Om Mani Padme Om. Greetings to you.
Greetings.
We're not going to give a message to follow that one. We're just going to sit back here and answer your questions. Ashira, who is standing by and ready and willing and waiting here. Do you have questions here for one who serves? You must have something after all of that.
I have a question. This is Marilu.
Yes.
I'd like to reach out for my master teacher, if he could bring me a message, whether this is a good time to close my bank accounts and my investments and put my money in a safe, if this is a good time to do it, if it should be done.
First of all, there are no shoulds.
Oh.
Whether it is a good time or not depends on you. It depends on what it is that you are wanting here. If you are wanting to be of those of the persuasion of preparing for great drastic changes in their lives, if you are wanting to be those that are preparing for a major shift to occur, where their financial situation comes into concern here, and they feel that there is a need to move this money, these savings that you have, from one place into another, then do it. Now, we are not saying that the banks are going to close their doors and that you will not be able to get your money and all of these things. This could happen, but we are not going to say it is going to happen, you see? Because as one thing occurs, another will be right behind it. As the shift happens here, as the movement from one system into another system, and this cannot be stopped either. Just as the wave cannot be stopped, this cannot be stopped, because it must happen. There must be a transition. And this transition is happening right now, even as we speak here. If you feel more comfortable to move this money from out of the banks and into your home safe or into your pillowcase, then yes, do it. Whatever it is that makes you comfortable, we would say to do that. Okay?
Okay, thank
Do you have anything to add here, Ashira?
No, I think you've covered this well. Thank you.
you.
Would there be other questions now? We are feeling a great, I don't know if you feel it, but there are wonderful energies here. Wonderful energies, and we love this high that is happening here. Do you feel it?
Yes.
All of you, do you feel it? Those of you on the phone, do you feel it? You don't have to answer.
Yes,
Just
we do.
good, very good, good. We want you to feel it. We want you to be a part of this.
The tears are flooding.
Wonderful. They're tears of joy. You have not seen anything. You have not seen nothing yet.
Yay!
Charles, you had something occur here. Did you not?
Say that again?
Did you not have something occur in your meditation here? Something you wish to share?
I do have something to share, and
Yes.
I would say that during the meditation, I did visualize the tsunami blasting across the planet. Yes.
But there was something else, was there not? Something you felt.
This is Rita.
Yes?
I felt the greatest feeling of love that I had never experienced before, and joy, and feeling the actual coming in of that wave through me, about me, and above me. I feel like I have changed in this experience. And I'm sorry that I cannot talk without crying with joy. And thank you so much. And I feel so much love for everybody there and the trees and anything in my vision. I am so grateful for being here now and be able to experience this. So I will be quiet now. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing this, Rita. It's very important because you did not just imagine what just occurred here. We want you all to understand that. You did not just imagine it. You visualized it, yes. But in your visualization, it was happening. It was happening at a higher level that you cannot become fully aware of yet. But have we not said so many times, so above, so below? So that all of those things that manifest here on the earth first have to manifest at the higher vibrational levels. And you yourselves in your intention in this day created this manifestation. And you have no idea yet how this one little group that you think is just a little group is so much more powerful than you can possibly imagine. You affect the entire consciousness of the entire planet when you do these types of activities, and your intention is backing this to such a degree with so much energy and enthusiasm and love. Now, think about this and magnify it many times over in your coming time here at your advance. For that is what we will be doing again. James does not know that yet, but we've just told him. And the Susan is going to be working with other types of activities and situations, but it is all coming together at the same time. All is working. You spoke earlier of the divine plan, did you not? The divine plan is coming together, whether those are ready for it or not, whether they like it or not. It is coming together. And you yourselves are having a great, grand part of this. And as of yet, you do not yet know how much of a part you play here. But this is why we are with you every single Sunday. Every time you come together, we are with you. We would not miss this for the world. This is an appointment for us. But it is an appointment of love and with love. And to be of service in this way, and for you to be of service in this way, is all part of this great plan. You have other questions here now for one who serves in Ashira. We need to get Ashira into the action here.
I would like to just qualify something, maybe quantify it.
Yes.
And it's based on Mary Lou's question about where her money should go. And it's my experience over and over and over again that the higher consciousness or the divinity that is ours is to practice the concept of prosperity and abundance no matter what you have in front of you. And that the idea of prosperity and abundance has nothing to do with the money in your pocket. And that the Great One, the Master Yeshua, showed us, and this is one of my favorite stories, through practicing prosperity and abundance, he fed a crowd with a few loaves and a few fishes. And for me, I used to feel very strongly about survival and money and fear surrounding, do we have enough? And whenever that thought comes to my mind, I work on my prosperity consciousness, believing that I will be taken care of through faith, through trust, and through an understanding that all is well. And I believe, if you would clarify this for me, that that is the higher plan, rather than worrying about where our investments are going. And no offense to anybody. Would you tend to agree with that, or can you comment on that?
So much so, yes, but we are going to step aside and allow Ashira first to speak on this if she wishes.
Thank you. This is your truth, my friend. And it is based on other truths that have been taught and spoken. But at this time, as the shift, the transition is taking place, know that we are whispering in various persons' ears at that time what they need to be doing. We speak to them not in the truth that you are based in. We speak to them in a way that will accomplish what they need to accomplish with their life plan. So we appreciate you sharing and discussing your basis for understanding and truth. But know that at this time, all of those in this room and on the phone and others who are listening to these messages are listening to that guidance which is given to them. Just as this one wishes to leave her job, we have been sending her guidance and actual situations that continue to say, sit tight, you are still needed. There is no basis for incomes or securities or those kinds of things even in the discussion. It is sit tight to be of service. And so we would share that with you, Joanna, with love, with light, and know that each one is following their own path at the moment. And thank you for your insight. We bless you.
Thank you.
And one who serves.
Very good. And we would add to this, Joanna, that this is why we answered the question as we did earlier, because it is up to the individual as to how they wish to look at these types of situations. As to the money part of this is temporary. It is only temporary. It is only part of the transition that is happening here. It will not be too long into the future here where you will not even be using money anymore. It will not be necessary because you will realize that the abundance of the planet is all that you need. You do not need those things that you have now. You see, there will no longer be a necessary reason to have the various things that you use the money for at this time. They will all be precluded. You speak of and hear of the replicators. Think in terms of a replicator, making anything that is that you want. What would you need to go shopping for? You see? Now that is not to mean that there will not still be areas to go where you can shop for various types of things that are maybe not of necessity, of desire. There will still be some of this, certainly. But as you move into the higher levels of consciousness, into those higher vibrations that we speak of, and that you are beginning to feel and move into, you will understand this. And all of these types of questions that you have now, although very important to you now at this moment, will be a thing of the past, in your dim memory only. And you will wonder, looking ahead here, you will wonder back, and you will think, did I really concern myself with this paper that was in a safe somewhere? Or being held in a building? Because that's all you will look like to you is paper. For is that not all what it is? It is paper. Or if you do not look at it as paper money, it is energy. That's all it is. It is energy that has a use now. But the use for this energy, this type of energy, is fast moving away. Does this answer your question fully? Joanna?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Very good. Are there other questions here now?
Could I please ask a question? This is Rita. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That isn't it true that we were supposed to be working on attachments and not attach us, our mind or ourselves on things that are material that will not be in use, and that would be money. Is that true?
That is correct. That is why we speak of the transition here. For you could not go from the point that you are now, where you are concerned about the various monies in the banks and what to do with it, and the evaluation and all of these types of things, you could not go directly from that to no money whatsoever. It would not be possible now. So there is a transition period that is happening and going to continue to happen for a little bit of time. But as consciousness raises, the need for these types of things will lessen and lessen and lessen. You see? Anything you wish to add here, Ashira?
No, I would just add that think about the free energy that will be coming your way. Think about the, as One Who Serves talks about the replicators for food. Think about so many things that money is no longer necessary for in the very near future. Trust in the plan. Trust in the transition. And each of those who are hearing us again today, think about those things which continue to hold your mind. Even this one last night concerning herself about whether or not she'd be able to work on the transcribed words from this session today. all of these things are falling aside because it is a brand new world that you are creating. May bless you.
Would there be other questions now?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have any guidance on the best way to stay in the now, which will help us not worry about the future or worry about the past?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Be it.
Just be it.
Do it. Be it. Yes.
Any particular techniques which help people stay in the now?
Ah, now you look for tools.
All right.
Various
Yes.
techniques to use here. And we would say to you, to be in the now means to be in the flow. Be in the present moment. And you do that by being aware. Awareness leads to motion, and awareness leads to movements of consciousness. So the more you are aware of whatever it is that you are doing at any given moment, and just allow for that process to take hold. And again, to go with the flow. It is not that difficult to be in the now, people. It is only that you tend to focus on past events, those things which have hurt you in the past, those things that have held you back in the past, those things that have programmed you in the past. And you tend to hold on to those things. But what are they but attachments? Attachments that keep you back. So if you wish to be in the now, let go of those attachments. Let go of the past hurts. If a spouse hurt you in some way in the past, so what? Let it go. It is no longer important. For it is a new day, a new moment. A new dawn is coming. A new dawn is already here. You see? Does this answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
I have a tool. Can I share it?
Yes?
When I start to worry about the past or the future, I simply look at my thoughts and I say, all is well in this moment, and this moment is all I have.
Wonderful.
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like
Another question? Yes, Ashira wishes to answer here
I
also.
apologize, James. And as you continue to rise in your frequency and vibration, Charles, then those things which seem to plague you and take you out of the now will be moving more and more from you. You will see them diminish. So your abilities to stay in the now every moment becomes easier and easier for you. And we know that you are diligently working upon this. And so we want to say good work and just acknowledge you. For as you raise your vibration, the issues that concern you, that take you out of that moment, will also be removed. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Your question now, James?
This concerns the earth. There was a severe chemical spill in Colorado, and according to some of the people that I am associated with, they've been pouring structured water, and the scientists are saying they can't understand how it's cleaning itself up this fast. Can you verify that that's happening, and it's the structured water doing it?
Yes. Gaia is at work here. The galactics are at work here. All are working in the process. It is just not known to the general population of these things that are occurring. But when these seemingly miraculous events happen, and they are happening all over the planet, you do not hear about all of them. For there are many happening in other countries where you do not hear about it in this country. But that does not mean they are not happening. You see? So there are forces at work here, such as your crop circles. Are they not forces at work? And they appear overnight, and they have seeming significance to them, but yet you do not understand the significance. But there is a calling to you, a deep level calling, that these crop circles, these various changes that are happening all over the planet, are calling to you, to your collective consciousness, and reaching you. And all is a part of this plan, the divine plan, to raise consciousness. All preparing for the wave, for the event to come. To make it just a little bit more simplified or easier to withstand. For if it were not for all of these things happening, and this wave that is coming hits the earth, there would not be much life left on the planet. If this was not being dispersed over a period of time here. This is all we can give at this moment. There is much more coming, much more to be revealed in the very short time ahead here. But just allow it to be, okay? Do you have anything you wish to add here, Ashira?
Not at this time, thank you.
Are there other questions here?
I have a question. This is Natalie. I wanted to confirm that isn't this collective consciousness, isn't this plan to work on who we are and finding the truth, all in all, to be there to protect and take care of the Mother Earth? I had a dream a couple of weeks ago, not remembering the dream itself, just this huge feeling, hearing we are here for the planet. We are here from Mother Gaia. And that was stuck in my mind all day, trying to figure out we are supposed to be here for the human consciousness, but isn't this the event after event, this human consciousness leading to the consciousness of this blue planet?
You wish to address this first, Ashira?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It's always so enjoyable having the conversations between one who serves and myself. It makes me giggle a little bit about the conversations that we have. Yes, I'm happy to address this initially. Natalie, you are only part of the kingdoms upon the planet of Mother Gaia. Are you here to help her? Yes, that dream could have been specifically for you, but that is part of your service to continue to cleanse, to help support, raise her vibration, work with her, move with her as she moves forward in this plan. But as far as the human consciousness goes, human consciousness is preparing mankind, humankind, for this shift. That is the consciousness that has been created from all of you who are upon the planet. It takes but a percentage of people thinking in the same way, putting those thoughts into the mass consciousness to affect all. The planet is moving on her own. The planet is repairing herself. And as Sananda said earlier, things that have been written, that you have read about the planet being in dire straits and evacuations are necessary immediately, that is not what we would share. We would share that you and the galactics and all who are part of this process are working with Mother Gaia working upon her physical body and her fifth dimensional vibration. But it is not the purpose of the human mass consciousness to pull her. You are gifted with being inhabitants upon her, and doing the work that you need to do, as well as all of the other kingdoms that are upon the planet and within the planet. They all are moving in this process. The entire solar system and galaxy is moving in this process. So again, this call, dear ones, to you, but not to all of human consciousness or mass consciousness. Does that make sense to you, dear one?
Yes, it does.
To Ashira, one who serves.
Very good. Would it move on here to other questions?
I've
Anything
got a
else?
statement or a comment. It's been weighing on me quite a bit too. When Rita brought up the wave of love, the asami of love, it really manifested an enormous tear coming from my left eye, and it really was weighted down, and the emotion came back to me on how she was feeling at that moment, going back into the 90s, of something that I felt so strongly in belief that this love is so powerfully beautiful. It's like the movie The Field of Dreams. I think that's with Robin Williams. And just the beauty of the love of all that was surrounding, just so magnificent. And having to let it go because of the feeling that there could be hurt involved. And I just released the thought of holding on to that love feel and regretting it. And this is something I'm looking so much forward to, being able to feel this tsunami of love again today, or when it does happen, to have it with my children, mainly my kids, my son and daughter, to be able to have that feeling of that powerful love, that magnificent feel of that beauty, that strength, that magnificent value of knowing what love really is something I'm so looking forward to. And I thank you, Rita, for bringing that up. It was just very powerful for me, too. And that's just my comment. It was just something I wanted to bring up. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing this. Would there be other questions here now before we release this channel? Nothing further? Then we wish to tell you that Ashira and we, those of us here, and all of those that are going to be there with you on this coming weekend at your advance are very much looking forward to this, because the energies are building, people. The energies are building faster and more than you can even begin to grasp yet. And at that time that you find yourselves there, you are going to have several experiences that are going to catapult you, each one individually, to the next level of your being. We cannot be more explicit than that. This will be one of those things where it will come to you as a knowing. Cannot be shared in terms of quantitatively what is happening, but you will just feel it within you. And there is much excitement that is building, not only for this advance, but across the entire planet, for all the movements that have been occurring behind the scenes. They are fast coming together. They are, what is your term here? They are wrapping up and ramping up as well to bring about this shift that has been spoken of for thousands of years here. And this shift that you knew of long before you came here to this planet, when you volunteered to come here, you knew about this then. You knew this moment would arise or arrive. And all of your preparation is moving to these very times ahead here. As we continue to assist and help prepare you for the wave that is coming. And in many aspects, much of this wave is already here. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.
Thank you.
These are exciting times. This is Ashira. Pleased to share with this group once again. So pleased to be here. Part of what you have received, some of you have worked with, and we will have more work with this in the coming advance, is the light mental body. You have left your bodies through your spiritual body, through your mental body, through your Merkaba, however you see that form in each of your meditations. And you formed a group Merkaba today in your experience with Sananda. You accomplished much in that particular experience and experienced much in that. And yes, in the coming week, we'll be working even more with this. Because more and more you will come to the understanding that that brain, that physical organ that is inside your head that you think so much of the time is your body and is your existence and is the center of your thoughts, is in reality just part of the physical body. And you are a spiritual being at the moment in this body, but at the moment so much more than this body. Those of you who have used the light mental body have seen many wondrous things, but becoming more and more aware of that and receiving the gift. If you have not yet received the gift of the light mental body, this will be part of what you will receive next week. Those of you who have it will be reminded of it. There are so many more things that you are going to experience in the very near future. The light mental body is part of that. The spiritual body that some exist in at this point in time for their meditations, for other opportunities to go into other dimensions and other lifetimes. Those are all parts of what you're moving into more and more. We've talked about the veil dropping. And yet more and more of this is the higher frequency, the higher vibration that you are achieving, you are experiencing. If nothing else, you experience those in these days, these Sundays that you come together in meditation. We are excited about these times, for you have come to experience them. And while it may seem that the word consternation that has come up a couple of times this Sunday might raise a red flag for you, we are pleased to say that it has not affected your frequency in ways that may be holding you back. You are eager for the future. You are eager for the times to come. You are eager to make this transition. And for that, we give you thanks, because that is the eagerness, that is the passion that is being fed into the mass consciousness from this group. So we bid you adieu today. We bring you love, we bring you peace. Namaste.
Namaste.